Greetings people. As you're already probably aware, Honda is a Japanese public multinational conglomerate corporation mainly known as the manufacturer of automobiles, motorcycles, even aircrafts, and a wide range of other power equipment. When it comes to motorcycles, Honda considered the world's largest motorcycle manufacturer since 1959, as well as the world's largest producer of internal combustion engines, building more than 40 million engines each and every year, and generally that makes a lot of people happy on a consistent basis. Hence today I will be talking about one of their creations that is to blame for our happiness, that is GoldWing, primarily covering the history behind today's GL1800, at the heart of which is the unique liquid-cooled 4-stroke 12-volt flat-six engine that delivers 167 nm torque at mere 4000 rpm and accommodates a total of 118 horsepower with subdued vibration, helping to minimize riders' fatigue and maximize the outcome of riding pleasure. As can be easily deduced, not every other two-up motorbike can match the combination of power and refinement that GoldWing represents today. But behind every success there is a lot of years of development and relentless work. Beginning in 1972, Honda assembled a special design team to contrive concepts for a new flagship motorbike, something Honda R&D had pondered upon ever since the CB750 saw its first light. Formerly the designer and developer of Honda's 5- and 6-cylinder Grand Prix motorcycle racing engines and one of the contributors to enhancement of Honda's car business, Shoichiro Irimajiri, was appointed the project leader. Irimajiri's son was thus an apt choice to create an amalgamation of disparate technologies, automobile engines and multi-cylinder race bikes. Now as to powertrain pedigree, when the GoldWing flat 4-wheel shaft drive debuted in 1974, it combined technologies from previous motorcycle designs as well as already existing automotive technology. It is comprised of the traditional BMW Motorrad layout, a wet sump unit construction boxer twin that is using shaft drive that goes back to the R32 model that began production in early 1923. In 1932, German Zündep used the same powertrain layout for their K800, stepping up to a 4-cylinder boxer engine. It is worth mentioning that during World War II, the K800 was the only 4-cylinder motorcycle used by German military forces. But back to our GoldWing, in 1974, the Project 371 teams responsible for construction of GL1000 final powertrain layout was 61 cubic inches liquid-cooled, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder 2-stroke engine with a gear-driven generator at the back end of the crankshaft. Using gears to drive the generator caused it to spin backwards compared to the crankshaft and thus to counteract the engine torque reaction. Cylinder blocks and crankcase were integral, with the transmission situated below the crankcase to keep the unit construction engine as compact as possible. Eventually, developers decided on shaft drive. Production GoldWings became available on market in the US and Europe in 1975. Small fairings had been mounted on two of the production prototypes for the US dealer show in Las Vegas. These fairings were designed by Honda to be sold as Hondelin accessories. They were supposed to be manufactured in the US by the Vetter Fairing Company, but this particular design never went into production due to the accidental destruction of the molds. Consequently, the GoldWing was born into the world naked, lacking saddlebags and having no place for luggage, without even a windshield. This created a golden opportunity for accessory manufacturers, and the market soon developed, offering fairings luggage, particularly the Windjammer series designed by Craig Vetter. Originally, GL1000 had an electric starter backed up by a kickstart lever stored inside a dummy fuel tank, which also housed the radiator expansion tank, electrical components, as well as the filter supplying 4 Kane 32mm CV carburetors. The real fuel tank was hidden under the seat in order to keep the center of mass as low as possible. The bike itself had a dry weight of 265 kilograms. During the third year of production, Honda began refining the GoldWing, although the changes for 1977 were rather trivial, like adding exhaust pipe, heat shields, revised seat and handlebar, as well as a new fuel gauge. weight increased to 270 kilograms, 5 kilograms more than previous iteration. In 1978, the engine for the GL1000K3 model was finally renewed, providing more torque available at lower engine speeds. The exhaust system was redesigned from scratch, valve and ignition timings were reworked as well, and the kickstart mechanism was removed completely. The history of GL1000 culminates in development of final model K4, which major difference is comprised of new 1-liter engine that powers that beast, as well as new Comstar's wheels that had stronger aluminum spokes and rims. Honda's next milestone was GL1100, followed by GL Interstate and GL1100 Aspencade, that is the second generation of GoldWing that was released in 1979 and continued till 1983. Honda's decision was to augment the displacement of the GoldWing, putting more emphasis on torque than mere horsepower. The cylinder heads were modified in order to maintain a better combustion at low and middle engine speeds, transmission gear ratios were altered, as well as the final drive ratio shortened to make more torque available at highway speeds. Furthermore, with added air suspension, the wheelbase was longer in comparison with GL1000. In addition, GL1100 had an adjustable seat, and for the first time they opted for tubeless tires mounted on black reversed Comstar's wheels. Following this, in 1983, transmission gear ratios were revised yet again in order to achieve lesser engine speed on the highway. Cast aluminum 11-spoke wheels replaced the former Comstars, and front suspension was endowed with track anti-dive fork system coupled with an integrated fork brace, and the rear suspension now worked even without air pressure. Honda's first combined braking system, which was basically a copy of unified braking at the time, debuted in 1983. It engaged both front and rear brakes in unison when the brake pedal was applied. Drive weight for the standard GL1100 constituted 272 kilograms. With that being said, the engine hadn't undergone any significant changes. In 1983, Honda was facing a challenge on the market in form of a new full-dress tourer, the Yamaha Venture Z1200 with its 4-valve per cylinder V4 engine. In 1984, Honda returned the blow at the Milan Motorcycle Show later that year by announcing a new GoldWing that pushed its 4-cylinder engine design to its limits. The bored and stroked Boxer produced more power and torque, and a new final drive ratio gave the GL1200 taller gearing in order to reduce noise and vibration. By adding hydraulic activation for the clutch, Honda essentially made the new engine maintenance-free. In order to make the GoldWing more nimble, front and rear wheels diameters contracted whilst tires' width expanded once again. Additionally, the new GL1200 was constructed on a newly developed, stronger frame, and in spite of all the improvements, the previous drive weight of the naked bike remained intact at 272 kilograms. Further, Honda continued manufacturing Interstate and Aspencade models, this time for GL1200. In 1984, Honda assembled a new design team that began work on the 4th generation of GoldWing. As always, new GoldWing engine design goals were smoothness, quietness, and more power output. Eventually, in 1987, a redesigned GoldWing made its debut at the Cologne Motorcycle Show, exactly 30 years after the original GL1000 was first shown to the public at the same venue, and the GL1500 brought the most changes seen to the GoldWing series since its inception. The biggest difference was that the flat 4 engine was replaced with the flat 6 engine. Although the GL1500 still used carburetors, there were just 2 large 36mm CV canes supplying all 6 cylinders, which is the first time any GoldWing had less than 1 car per cylinder. Honda also covered the entire motorcycle in fairings, giving it a seamless, unique appearance. Another substantial innovation was the addition of a reverse gear, which was possible due to the electric starter motor being linked to the transmission. Owing to its size and weight, Honda deduced that some people would struggle with backing it up. All in all, the new GoldWing had grown nearly on every levels: a larger windshield, longer wheelbase, 2 more cylinders, more horsepower, more bodywork, more electronics, more accessories, and more weight that reached 360 kilograms. Also, this was the first time when Honda decided to add such options as a passenger audio control and rear speakers, CB radio, auxiliary lights, and exterior trim. Further models like Aspincade, Special Edition, and Interstate represented features like cruise control, additional lights, a vented windshield, adjustable passenger floorboards, and adjustable food packs, as well as food heaters for the rider. Finally, in 2001, GL1800, that is 5th generation GoldWing, was released. This model comes with the enlarged 1832cc engine with fuel injector. At the same time, the overall weight of the motorcycle was significantly reduced by building frame using high-strength aluminum and was composed of only 31 separated parts, which is well nigh 2 times lesser than previous frame. Also, this model introduced renovated rear and front suspension, including new design features such as restyled fairings and saddlebags with the increased carrying capacity. The 2006 model had an optional airbag, ABS braking system, and in-dash GPS with audio information provided through the speakers and headset cables, and the rider comfort package including seat and handlebar grips heaters with additional engine air vents. The 2010 was the last production year in the United States, and since 2012 the production of 2011 model was entirely up to Japan. So guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one.